From a professional soccer career to becoming a driving force in the mortgage industry, Brian Covey has shown what it takes to find your competitive edge. Get off the sidelines and get in the game. Find your competitive edge with Brian Covey.
What's happening, guys? And welcome back to a recap of this week's episode, which was phenomenal. My friend Adam Hill, not only is he a triathlete, he's done some amazing things in the world of business, 9-figure entrepreneur, CEO, world famous speaker, all these cool things that he went through. But here's the through line that I want you to listen to this. And really in your own life, you've probably experienced this. We talked about facing fear. Look, as I made notes and I'm listening to Adam's story and how he is now 12 years sober, dealing with alcohol and addiction and those things. That might not be what you're dealing with, or it might be. But either way, you have things in your life, vices, things that have held you back. It could be excuses, or they could be things like substance, like alcohol. They're holding you back from your greatness. They're holding you back through, I believe, God has created you to be. This conversation is timely as we go into the holiday season, as I believe there's a lot of us, we want to make change. We've already thought about January 1. What are the changes we want to make? Everybody jokes about the cliche, new year, new me. What if you started today? What if you started today and you knew it was one simple change in your life? Maybe it's waking up a little bit earlier. Maybe for you, it's not eating some of those foods that you know are not serving you and healthy. Maybe it's adding something in where you're doing that workout, that walk, whatever it is, reading a book to help your mindset. So you know the areas in your life that you're not performing optimally. What we talked about was oftentimes the reason we're not there is it's the fear. It's fear of judgment. It's fear of failure. It's fear of, even some people, fear of success. If I do this and I'm successful, what happens then? So one of my mentors and coaches, Ben Newman, talks about this is really a lot of people talk about the fear of failure, but what high performers, and a lot of you that listen to the show will resonate with this, is where we typically fall off is after a great month, a great year, a great day, something where we've had tremendous success. Typically in the world of sales, it's at the end of the month. You have a scoreboard, you know exactly where you're aiming to be. You achieve that, and even many times you blow it out of the water. Now, how do you show up? You see, I believe that's what's going to be the separator for you. And Ben has really taught me this in my own journey of, we don't get too high on our successes. Just because you won that game, just because you had that great month, just because you performed exceptionally well, that bet paid off for you, you still got to show up the next day. You see, you start back at zero. Every day, you got to eat well. You got to put your workout in. You've got to really build relationships with people and show up in the areas of your life that matter. But as Adam and I discussed in this show, a lot of times fear will rear its ugly head. And it's typically things in our past that we've given meaning to that hold us back. And we think, well, man, I tried this before, but it didn't work out. Or, you know what? I did that and it worked out for a little bit, but it really wasn't worth it. We start to come up with all these reasons and we give power and meaning to these stories, these experiences in our life as to why they didn't work. Well, let's just cut to the chase. They didn't work because we didn't work. How many times have you had that where you started off, maybe it's even the new years we're coming up on. You got a few days, a few weeks, maybe even got to a few months. And then you just went back to old patterns of behavior. You see, I want you to listen to this conversation with Adam because we break down fear and how to actually combat that and use it to your advantage. You see, I believe fear can actually be a catalyst for us taking on new challenges. It can push us to expand that comfort zone. Not just break through it and get outside of it, but expand it as we expand our capacity. Then we can take on more, we can do more. And what we thought and what once was really difficult for us, now it's just part of who we are. Now it's just the standard in which we live. It's how we show up and how we're able to compete. You see, in athletics, often look at this. I had some friends recently run marathons, half marathons, even a 100-mile ultra marathon. Shout out to Steve Weatherford out there. And you see, at one point in their life, they couldn't do that. Or they wouldn't do that. And even some of my friends that are running these races, their times are getting faster. They're running more of these races. The fear and limiting beliefs oftentimes will be this combination that just hold us back from our greatness. So I want you to start looking at a few things. The takeaway, start looking at your own life every day. Where is fear rearing its head? How do you convert that into fuel instead of turning it into a failure? How do you find these limiting beliefs in your own life and say, you know what? I'm going to try this. Because the lesson many times for us is learned through that setback, that failure, something that didn't go exactly as planned, and it's how we respond to it. Not react with emotion, but respond. So enjoy this conversation. I know I loved it. A lot of conversations lately around people really dropping the alcohol and getting into their best zone for health, mindset, fitness, all of that for themselves so they can show up their best. And then also how they're going to attack 2024. This will set you up for success. And I believe this is going to be an area of mental toughness that you're going to see in all areas of your life. So enjoy the conversation. Leave us a review. Let us know how this impacted you. And as always, thank you for taking time. You had many options. You're tuning into this. We want to bring you maximum value on these recaps and then also turn you back to the show. If it's something of relevance, share it with your friends. Make sure you share it out in the world. Let's make the world a better place. Cheers. Catch you on the next episode.